Landon and friends talking. You'll never know who's on next. Creative ideas are brewing from every single guest. So listen and learn along, don't worry, we're almost done with the song. So wherever you're at, put your troubles aside and sit on back, cause here comes Landon Live.
Well, hello and welcome back to Landon Live. My name is Landon Harvey. Today we have the amazing David Bonfadini, also known as the Magic Crasher. David, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? You know, actually, I can't hear you. I can't find my AirPods, dude. Hold on. Here we go. There they are. Oh, I hear you much better.
Oh, there we go. Nice. I feel like I'm in your TikToks. It's great.
I know, right? Shoot, I should have been filming that.
Well, okay, so I'm so curious because, you know, I started doing shows as a ventriloquist and then I ventured into the whole social media aspect. But what was it with you and magic? Was it, do you do shows as a magician? Did it start off as the viral component? What was it for you?
So for me, first off, I got into it when I was like 6 years old. So I always loved magic. How it's become the Magic Crasher, it's been all of my life experiences wrapped up into what I am now. And that is a mixture of, I was a child actor. So I was on like Malcolm in the Middle growing up, and was on a Disney show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like I'm one of those ones where it's like when you open up the box, Pandora comes out. And so I took my love of magic, I took my acting skills, and then my sales skills, and pretty much created this character because, you know, I've worked a bunch of 9-to-5 jobs. And one thing that I realized is human interaction is real. And that's why the Magic Crasher. You have a daily routine. It's my job to crash it. And who loves magic? Everyone loves magic. But if you can do it embedded into like a normal routine of somebody else's, and there's that magic element, and it's not for a prank reason, but more for a smile or a positive reason, that is how the Magic Crasher was born. So I was like, oh, you know what? Here's an untapped resource.
Wow. So when did that click for you? I mean, had you been doing magic shows and performances, and then you thought, what if I integrated it this way?
Yes.
Or what was the
so I was doing corporate magic, I was doing trade shows, and at the same time I was also making videos. And the videos that I was making is what you see now, but it was more long form. This was like 2012 on YouTube. And then once I got on TikTok, it just clicked. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I get it now. So it's short form. Let's tell shorter stories. Let's do quicker tricks, and let's impact more quicker. So I'm like, okay, this is great. So numbers. And then I just realized that this persona on the street persona, the Magic Crasher, really was aiding to people. So I would say this clicked about, I knew what I wanted in 2012, but it wasn't supported because we didn't have the short form platforms. And, we had Vine, but that was even shorter. That was like 7 seconds. And then stories started coming in, and we were able to do a little bit more. And then once it switched to that short form, then it was like, oh, now we have a whole other way of telling a message in shorter terms and being more impactful. And that clicked about, I think, 2019. I had started, just like everyone, posting content, things started doing good. But then I was like, but what do we really have here? So that was about 3 years ago. Yeah, 2019.
Wow. Okay. So you really hit it and found it in COVID.
Well, actually before, because I was on Musical.ly in 2018. Right before it flipped, my girlfriend said, hey, you should post a magic video on Musical.ly. And I was like, it was the only thing I wasn't posting on at the time. And I was like, yeah, well, it's kind of, I don't know, dancey. And she's like, just do it. And like my second video got 2.1 million. And then I was crowned right after that, like 2 weeks later. And then 2 months later, it turned into TikTok. It was like right place, right time. paid.
That is wonderful. So would you consider yourself primarily an online magician or illusionist? I mean, what do people tend to categorize you as?
Well,
And would you agree with it?
If you Google me,
Uh-huh.
I am verified on Google as an actor, and
Okay.
that is what I am. I am an actor. I just happen to do magic. A magician is an actor that uses sleight of hand as their tools, just like you're an actor, but because you have your puppet, you're a ventriloquist. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
So it's the same thing. You're still an actor because you have to write, create, entertain. You have it a little bit different because, well, actually, no, I'm kind of in your boat now too. Like, I'll do magic, just to the camera. It's kind of like no one's there, no one's watching. But you're controlling two entities, which is magic. It's crazy.
What was that adjustment like from going to doing these corporate shows and then trying to kind of reroute the did you have a lot of difficulty in kind of rerouting the tricks or the way that they were presented to the camera when you're doing the online content?
So in 2012, when I was working at Big Lots, and when I left Big Lots, I had the idea of I'm going to start doing shows, and I had to do like birthday shows and whatever. And then quickly I got into corporate shows, but I was like, how am I going to stand out? Well, I was making videos, and some of the videos were going viral. So I was like, well, why don't I just tell people that I have viral videos? Even though I didn't have the following yet, I was like, well, I create viral videos. And at that time, marketing department would just be like, okay, like, because this is 2012, they weren't clicking that, oh, going online, going viral was the thing. So from the very beginning, when I decided to start doing corporate, I had always incorporated the Magic Crasher. So the Magic Crasher wasn't just online. He was, because for me to get paid, for me to make money independently and not have to do a 9-to-5, I had to get creative. So I would hit up corporate shows and be like, what if I came in dressed as the janitor and I crashed your employee's day and then you surprised them with lunch? And they were like, brilliant. We have money for this. It's called morale, team morale building. And I was like, wait, really? This is a thing? So I went home and I started building these decks, and I just started hitting everyone up. And I was like, this is brilliant. As the whole time I was adapting through the landscape of social media and as it was changing. And so from the very beginning, I had this mentality and I was figuring it out. But then when I was like, okay, how can I get money right now? And then once the short term came, I was like, oh, I'm just going to transfer this character to this and then start doing this. And then boom, that took off. And then now it's easy for me to hit up and just say, hey, I want to come speak at your quarterly thing, Nike. I want to do a 15-minute opener for your keynote speech, and I'm going to come in as boom. And then I send my pitch, and they're like, yeah, how much? And I'm like, yeah, sick, done. Because it's a no-brainer, it's fun, and that's what you have now. So everything I'm doing and you see started, I was doing live. I was doing live even without the cameras.
That's wonderful. Is it still that approach where you come in as a janitor or someone that's not expected to be the entertainment? Really? Okay.
I have to more so now because there are, especially if they're like startup companies, young companies, I have to like, I'm recognizable. So like, I have to be careful because like if they're on TikTok and I start doing something that might seem magical and I'm bald, they're like, hey, I see this guy on TikTok. And I'm like, damn. So I have to get disguised for a reason. And I have fun because I have a lot of talented friends that do makeup and we just get creative. Trying to turn this all into a show, but yeah.
Sure. That's wonderful. Wow. How has your social media approach changed over time? We talk about the back and forth between, corporate to social media. Has your approach to social media changed over time?
So
as you've been building your brand?
I would say now it's about community. It's about really focusing on like more of my community. So I'm really trying to create or keep creating the content that I want to be known for, recognized for when I'm out in public. So it's been less, it's never been number driven for me because I was in the beginning, I was very lucky to have really good numbers and stuff. And I will just be honest right now, the algorithm is horrendous and we don't know why. But I get a lot of other creators that hit me up and they're like, I'm losing it. And I'm like, breathe. There's 5 other platforms that also do short form. Focus on those too. And then, it's now TikTok is kind of bumming me out because the algorithm's not there. And I love TikTok with all my heart. And I know people have a lot of bias, but I've been there from the beginning before the switch over. So to me, they're very near and dear. They'll come around. So I always tell people, just keep creating. You just got to keep creating. And if you don't want to, play that game of, what's going to work in the algorithm, just do it because the algorithm will change and catch up to you. What you need to do, what's more important is just make sure, and this is my approach now, is just doing content that makes me happy and excels my brand. And people are like, well, what about numbers? That's how you make money. I go, honestly, I pitch myself as a brand. I pitch myself as a personality. I'm not going to do one post. I'm going to do multiple posts for them. They may do good. They may not do good. But guess what? I might do a live activation for them too in that same deal. So it's like there's just so much value because it's all about ROI. It doesn't have to just be, who said it has to just be ROI with a video, right? Mm-hmm. So my approach is less analytics and more valuing yourself, valuing your content, and making sure that your audience feels valued. And if brands don't want to pay for that, when you do pop off, then they're going to be like, damn, we should have started a relationship then. And it's like, yeah, well, talk to my manager. But yeah. I mean, I'm very blunt.
No, I appreciate it. That's why we wanted to have you here and pick your brain. What makes a viral video? What adds to that virality?
Being relative. You got to be relative. Be relative to yourself. So here's the thing. A lot of people like to create based on trends, which is great. Do that because that's a booster. But again, it's a tool. Your social media is the actor. You're trying to be a social media brand, though. That's the magician, right? So your social media is the actor. Use everything as the tools to have that look. So I'm sorry. Repeat what you were just saying. The question.
I was asking what makes a viral video.
So the viral video has to come in from creating from a authentic relative space, and that relative space has to be genuine, and not only to yourself but to others around you. So the key, like to me, the secret sauce is what's going on right now, trending. How does it affect you? Make that. Don't go, I'm going to do something about AirPods because everybody has AirPods. And then it's like, no, I'm going to make something about me always losing my AirPods because it upsets me. But guess what? It upsets you too and everyone else because everyone loses their AirPods. You follow me? You feel me?
Sure, it's relatable. Yeah.
So that relative is that viral formula because people want to share and be like, dude, this is you, bro, this is you, and that's what they want.
Right, and that relatability aspect.
100%.
Wow.
And I know, I always say the 3 C's: content, consistency, and collaboration. That's it. So your content's got to be consistent and then collaborate. But when you collaborate, make sure you collaborate according to your brand. So if I were to do a collab with you, I would make sure that the puppet does a magic trick. Or sorry, one of your characters does a magic trick.
All right. So the puppet would do the magic in terms of like collaboration, you're talking about
Yeah,
satisfying both groups.
Exactly. Because I wouldn't just be like, hey, Landon, you want to see a magic trick? And then you do a magic trick and that's it. It's like, but it's your, it's your public. They want your brand, right? And I want your brand with my brand because I want my audience to be like, yeah, I like that. And then that's how that conversion in collaboration really works the best versus just being like, oh, Landon, do this.
Mm. Right. Okay. So how does that work? So is it did you find that through trial and error? I mean, it's satisfying both, showing fully what both people have to bring to the table in terms of what their skills are? Because I guess just if you're too casual with it, one part can get lost, or it's not, maybe the idea isn't fully there.
1,000%. I mean, here's the way that Rachel and I look at it. She's my girlfriend, fiance, creating partner, business partner, everything. But, we feel if you're not going to be happy about it, I don't want you in it, because I want the person to be like, yo, can I share this on mine too? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, do I need to cut it up? No. Okay. Like we want people to be hyped about it. So when it is just approached nonchalant, there's been a lot of creators where we came over for the day. They're like, yeah, come over, be ready to film. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Don't tell that to Rachel and I. We came in with like lists, 11 a.m. Let's roll. And they're like, yeah. So just woke up. I'm gonna do some stuff. Cool. Rachel and I, we're gonna be in the back. We're gonna be filming. So we're filming. 4:00 comes around. We're about to wrap up, and they're like, "Hey, we're ready to film." And I'm like, "Did we switch times?" Like I got so confused, and it's just because people don't come to play. They come to play. They don't come to work and play. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So that's what we realize is the best is when they collaborate with their brand. And someone can hit me up. Like, I love when they hit me up and they say, I have this video idea. I'm going to do this, which is what I'm known for. And I want you to do this, which is why I love you. And I'm like, yeah, you just wrote my video. Thank you. No problem. I'll be over it in an hour.
Do you find that in terms of like a collaboration, because you do a lot of things where you're out and about and you're interacting with everyday people, do you find that if you were to accidentally run into someone and that be the collaboration, that would do better, or something where it's more in studio, like where you are and there's kind of more of a set or a narrative going? Or does it depend?
So yes, I mean, yes, all those situations I've encountered. The worst situation is when one just wants to chill out in public and one wants to film. And, no matter what, like when the agenda is to just be open and chill, like that combo right there didn't work, because if you're going to be open, one can't just be like, I just want to chill, because then they're not open. So it's finding that right chemistry, because the best is what you mentioned. Going out, I run into you and I'm like, dude, probably long shot, but you got Puppet in your car? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, want to feel something real quick? I have a quick idea. Oh yeah, dude, that will probably bang, because it's like, first off, why does this guy have his Puppet in public? I mean, for you, it's normal. For me, it's normal too to have like jumbo coins. But yes, that is, I find that synergistic opportunities are the best when it comes to viral, because you're out of your head, because you're just there to have fun and create. And that's the biggest thing that I deal with other creators, friends, and just in general, is everyone's in their head too much. Don't get me wrong, I get in my head, when it comes to doing everything right, and a certain outcome is like, I'm like, wait a minute, I did all this and it should, wait. And then I'm like, what could have been avoided? That's that's the only time. But other than that, yeah.
Has that ever become difficult for you? Because I feel like for me at times, you work so much to grow your audience, whether it be on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. Then it's kind of like, well, what kind of content do I need to be making? The old content or the content now that I feel like they would want to see? Or am I making content where it's people, I assume people don't know who I am, and it's I'm out and about. I mean, has it allowed you to kind of format the way that you present yourself as the Magic Crasher to not only satisfy people that currently follow you, but also when it reaches new pockets of people, whether it be on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, where they can eat up the content as a newbie watcher?
That's a heck of a question. So what was the simple question to that?
So like I guess basically,
how do I navigate on my
well, my thing is, how do you navigate it? Are you making your content for to build your community or to satisfy it, or both? And how do you level that?
Got you. Both. A/B testing, both. It's coming down to listening to them, giving them a little bit of what they want in your way. So that's trends, certain sounds that they might already be following, do something like that, play their game a little bit. But remember, you're in control. So
right.
The biggest piece that should tell you what is working and what's not working, the biggest piece, but with a grain of salt, and I'll tell you why, is your analytics. Now, when the analytics, so some of my videos, so like right now, my algorithm, I don't know where it's at. I'm trying to find it. Hello. But I will tell you what has come through my head. Well, you know what? What got you super popular? Oh, that stupid marker trick. We'll start doing more of it. Do it in a different way. Bite it, spit it back on, whatever. Dip it in water. Just keep doing it. And then I'm like, yeah. And then, well, what else do they like? Well, they like my fake chips. Okay, we'll do another one. Do one. Figure it out. And then I'm like, yeah, but they don't like how I did it, or they don't like how I used to do it. Okay, fine, but they like the chip. Come up with another way of doing it. So to kind of give you an example of what I'm saying, the other day I took one of my chips, made a new use to it, and gave it to put it into a Karen, which is something that I realized that they're liking. And a Karen is my girlfriend POV filming me, and she's always like, we're out of here, or this, and I'm like, ma'am, relax, look, if I take this and do that, and the solution's always magic, those were doing really good. So I was like, well, let's put one of these viral chips in a video and see if what I'm thinking is working. And again, I told you my content's been crap, but that video, almost 50K and growing. Because right now the algorithm likes to grow later, a lot later, versus what it used to be. It's not instant anymore. And that's kind of why when I'm building and pitching deals, I'm like, it's not instant anymore. I'm a magician, but don't pull that. But a little secret, if that's what they're looking for and they're paying you, good. Budget to promote it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hurt your analytics. And just be like, the video, it must have been a great concept.
Sure. What's the wildest story you have from filming?
Wildest story. Wildest story from filming. So my girlfriend is an identical twin, and this video is on my YouTube. And she's identical, and her sister and I and her decided to pull a prank at a skate shop. So we go into a skate shop, and I play the clerk, because everyone knows me at the skate shop. They're like, they kind of like always, again, when I had this idea of what I wanted to do, sorry, going back to that, I took that idea of the corporate luncheons and turned it into a activation, leveraging my social media. And that's when I got in with Spy. And then Spy Sunglasses led me into the action sport industry, which got me into the skateboarding industry, which allowed me to get to the 2016 X Games, where they hired me to come on and crash exactly what I wanted in my brand. Crash the X Games. So all that stuff's on my YouTube as well, long form. And Active Ride Shop, Skate Shop was one of them. And I was like, yo, I got an idea. They're like, yeah, come. And they're like, which store? And I'm like, Orange. I'm like, who's the manager? And they're like, oh, so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, I know him. Tell him I'm coming. So I show up, and everyone loved me when I showed up because we got to have fun. And I had full permission. So we set up these cameras. And I kid you not, I think we gave this lady a complex. So she was a legit customer, and she was shopping. And the prank was this: I'm helping Rachel or Liz, it didn't matter who started. They looked the same. And I'm like, yeah, that's good in there. Like, can you, which one's empty? Which one of these changing rooms are open? I'm like, the middle one's free. I got it all set up for you. And they're like, oh, thank you. Right in front of the girl, she walks in, and instantly the one over here, Rachel or Liz, came out, and she's like, what do you think? And I was like, and instantly I played it off like, and I should have reacted, and I think this is what tripped her out, was I did not at all like react. I just was like, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm a guy and I don't really feel that comfortable giving you an opinion. And I turned right to her, who's just like tripping out, going like, was there a glitch in the something? I don't know right now. And she literally was just like, looked at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. And she's like, yeah, no, she's really cute. She's like, or do you think I should wear the black one? And she's like, do you think blue or black, or like the white or black? She's like, I don't know. She's like, hold on. And she goes right in. And then the girl's standing here now. And here's where the other changing room is. And here comes Rachel, changed instantly. And she's like, no, you're right. The black one's the best. And she goes, oh my God. Oh my God. And I think her husband got it, because he's seeing me and I'm just keeping this, like, I'm not reacting, which I should have reacted. But he's like looking at looking for cameras. He's like, this is, and then Rachel caught on. So Rachel instantly goes in, and Liz was already set. And Rachel forgot the shirt though. And so it didn't look real. So the girl or the guy was like, here, do this one, and grabs the right one on accident and throws it. And then boom, Liz comes right out, the right shirt. And she goes, oh no, that's it. And you see her just go, nope. And like, oh yeah, it was just because it's just the power of perfect timing. And this is all raw. Like, we don't set up anything. It's just
really
like,
okay.
No setup. It was the only thing that's set up for the cameras, and literally the employees are doing their job, but they're just watching from the distance. And I'm playing an employee, so all I do is I get their their folding board, and I literally just sit and fold clothes and ask if people need help. And then we just play the scenario in real life, and we've rehearsed it. We know what it is. We know the timing. We came the day before to make sure that it worked, and that was it. We didn't set up anything. We just were like, oh yeah, this angle works, so boom. And then we go in. We usually have like 30 minutes to about an hour, because I don't want to overstay my welcome. And yet they're like, I don't care, stay for like 4 hours. And then we order pizza. But it's just so much fun. But yeah, that was probably one of the best stories, because it's, again, we do it on the fly. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is like TV quality reactions in like on the fly. I love this stuff.
That's wonderful. But you kind of rehearse the steps of it so you can get that, especially if when you have the twins and the swap to get that
Yeah,
that beautiful back and forth.
it
You
has to
practice it for
be
like half an
rehearsed.
hour.
Yeah,
Right.
it has to.
Yeah.
It has to. It has to be rehearsed. It's got to be for a couple of reasons. Because one, I'm not thinking about it for the video. We're just like, look,
Hmm.
we have an hour. We got one shot. Let's do it. And then we're like, yeah, heck yeah. So we just look at it as we just got this one opportunity. Let's give it our all. Even though we have like multiple times that we can do it, we normally nail it in like one shot. And then I'll be like, ooh, that was too easy. Let's do another one.
Wow. So how much? So on that one, it seems very okay. Go in the day before, set up, got all of our ducks in a row. We're gonna go back and do this the next day. But on typical, because you see some of these videos, and some of it looks like okay, that's obviously staged or that's got to be pre-set up. In a lot of your like out and about stuff, how much of it is pre-set up or explained versus like actual candid bystander reaction?
So I'm so good at picking the moment and using
Sure.
the moment. So Rachel will be like, I mean, I have glasses with cameras on it from Ray-Bans. The Ray-Ban stories are amazing. And sometimes it's that type of situation, you know what I mean? And where she needs to go like deep undercoat. But usually it's just, hey, I got an idea. The lady over there, I observed this. I heard this. And I got this trick in the car. Let me, like, my brain literally puts together like that, so I don't have
In that moment.
In the moment, in the moment, or I reverse engineer it and I go, okay, what's on me right now, and then I'm like, oh, I have this. Okay, relatable. But what did I just hear from her that I can put it in the moment, make it really good, blah blah blah. So I've been out with some of these creators that really staged it, and I was just their cameraman, and I was like, "Can we try it? Can I try one?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then, like I'm like, "Okay." And then I do it, and they're like, "Damn, those reactions are so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you do that?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's just so much easier to just hire actors and just like run it through." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, if you're going for numbers, I get that."
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing tricks that the normal person can't be in front of. So you're not being cognitively aware of that fourth wall, dummy. Because now it's like, well, I'm a magician, or I can Google that magic trick. And now, so it comes down to everything. Like my surroundings is key to my magic, to the moment, because I won't set up anything. The most I'll do is, let's say I do want to film a bunch of videos and I want to film them here in my studio. I'll have 3 different friends come, 3 different time slots. And actually they all come at the same time. We all just hang out and I just take, 1 or 2, one at a time. I do my set of 3 tricks, 4 tricks, or whatever I'm gonna do with them. But they don't know anything. They don't know why. All they know is that we're doing videos. They know that I'm gonna do some magic videos. That's all they know. But they don't know what tricks I'm doing. And the pattern isn't preset because these are my friends, so it's gotta be as genuine. So I'm usually talking before, getting like, hey, anything crazy this week that happened? And then like if they say something, I'm like, ooh, he lost his wallet. Cool. I have an appearing wallet. I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna be like, hold on a second. I think I got some. Boom. Is that your wallet? And then he'd just be like, because for that split second, he's like, I did lose my wallet. How did he? And I'm going to get the best reaction ever. But yeah, it's in my studio and he's over to be in a video. But that's how I do my videos. I never stage it because I don't have to.
You talk about just the base of what's relatable and what gets someone to watch a video to the end, and finding the right characters out in public to then have them be part of your content and introduce them to a new bit or a new puppet in my case, or a new trick is so thrilling because you're like, oh,
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
perfect person for that. And then you've got to, the fact that I love that you have a deck of cards or the wallet or different elements with you at all times, just in case something like that happens.
Yeah, it's like I always like to have a specific trick that's like, oh, he's a magician, so like a deck of cards, and then like a magic pranky trick where like the fire wallet, where it's like, this is his wallet. It's like, oh, it's a flame. Oh, it's a what? And like I didn't, because I use that to kind of gauge what I have to deal with. Like when I go out to eat at a restaurant, or just when I meet people, I'm always like, they're like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, excellent. How's your day? And they're like, actually pretty good. And I just thought, okay, so they came in like this, but if I can elevate and they matched me, shoot, they're getting a magic trick, because now I know that I can play. I know that I have someone I can play with. If I come in and I'm like, hey, and they're like, hi, or they're like, hi, how you doing today? And I'm like, great, how you doing? They're like, great, fine, great, thanks. What do you want? And I'm like, I'll take a number one. Great, number one. Here's your order. We'll be right there. I'm like, okay, they're high energy robot. So now I go and do a magic trick for them, and they're going to be like, oh, that's cool. Where in reality, they would want to react, but they're just in a robotic state of mind because they're at work. So it's a key indicator when I say hi to someone, if I'm going to even do a magic trick. If I'm like, hi, how you doing today? And they're like, fine, thanks. And I'm like, can I get a number one, please? And then I'll match them. And they're like, yeah, would you like sauce on their number one? I go, do you recommend sauce? And they're like, I don't care. And I'm like, great. Actually, you know what? Sorry to do this. What's your favorite thing here? And if they're like, my favorite thing? I don't like burgers. I'm like, no, that's why I'm asking. And they're like, I really like the chicken. And I'm like, oh, what about it? Or which one? This one. Like, they're still vague. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get that. Is there a certain way that you do it? What's your name, Carlos or whatever? And they're like, yeah, I do it this way. Can you just say Carlos way? And they're like, yeah. And then I'm like, cool. I appreciate that. And they're like, yeah, no problem, dude. And then usually from there, they're the best ones out of everyone, even the really happy ones. They're the best ones because they're the most grateful ones. So they're working. They have to work, but they're the hustlers. They're the ones that have another job that's really their why. And so that's the one that I'll turn around and do like a big tip for in a magic trick. And I'll be like, I'll give them a big tip. I'll give them like $10. I'll be like, I appreciate the recommendation. They're like, oh, for reals? I'm like, yeah. If I get that, I'm coming back and I'm like, dude, that's the best chicken thing I've ever had. I just want to say, dude, great. And they're like, hey, yeah, no problem. And then I'm like, hey, can I see that 10 real quick? I just want to tell you something. I don't know if you, and then I'll fold it, turn it into 100. And then I'll take, cool. And then they're like, what? I'm like, you gave me 10 times the service I wasn't expecting. So then they're like, wait, dude, do you do magic? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, man. And they're just like, really, because they're down to earth. They're the workers. And that's like what I am. So I'm like, that's my boys. So it's kind of like even like how you do stage shows. You have to like work your hecklers, who your hecklers are. And usually the ones that is that fake attitude all the way through, that's my heckler.
That's wonderful. What is the most time-consuming thing in what you do right now?
That's a great question, Landon. Wow. That's a really good question. Have a hard time. Actually, no, not a hard time. I actually just have a different answer than I did months ago.
Okay.
So I hired an awesome management team, but we work it in a way where they set up things, and if Rachel and I need to pitch, then we pitch. I love pitching. that's actually very, very therapeutic for me. I was finding myself hard in, I guess, kind of finding the opportunities because I had to make content. So at that time, content was like the most consuming thing. Now I'm probably doing twice as much content, but it's not so consuming because I enjoy making content. So now I can enjoy it.
Sure.
So the most time consuming thing, coming up with ideas. Just like good ideas, not just ideas to make a video. I'll skip a day if I'm not happy with it.
So what does your typical day look like, David? Is it I'm gonna, you wake up, film these 3 videos, or come up with these ideas, or is every day different for you, just kind of based on? Because you talk about content and you talk about, I mean, you hear these people on TikTok say you need to be cranking out 3 or 4 videos, but then some people say it's not the number of videos, it's the quality, because now they're pushing that. And so is it like, if I can get out this many videos a week, I'm good and I'm happy with that, and then I've got these other things kind of in the background cooking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's the shortest answer. So it's different. It's adjustable according to what is needed. So really it's based on, do I have any deliverables right now for brands? Okay. So like for today, after the podcast, we're going to knock out all of our deliverables that we have. We have 10 deliverables. We're going to knock those out. Then we're already ahead on another platform because we shot extra yesterday. So we don't need to film for that platform. So today is focused on deliverables, because once those are done, that frees us up to take 2 more campaigns down the line. See, another part of what we do is knowing your campaign, just knowing everything that's coming through your brand, so you know how to adjust it. And then we're going out of town tomorrow, so we're going to be near the beach. So we're going to take advantage of that and have some content ready for that area. Even though we don't always film on weekends, it's just like knowing what we have coming up and getting ahead of the game. That's really more the flow now, more than anything. Being more strategic about, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a time where my stuff goes down and I'm like, okay, I need more give backs, or I need more Karens, or I need more Magic Frank marker videos. It's like, I know, you see what I'm saying? It's like, I know the content I need. I just look at it and be like, okay, what's doing good? What do I have enough of? Oh, I don't have enough of that. So the next time we film, whenever it is, I'm going to go 14 videos on that, 10 on this kind, 5 on that kind. So I'm still hitting my, 30 videos that we try to do in a session, but it's what it is. Like, again, knowing your brand is the key. And then there's some people that are like, but I don't know my brand. And I'm like, okay. What don't you know about your brand? And they're like, I just don't know what kind of content to put out. I go, well, that's not knowing, then that's not knowing your brand. Like, what's your brand? Like, take all the stuff aside, the content, what is your brand? And they're like, for you, I'm a ventriloquist. And it's like, okay. Well, I see that you're a ventriloquist, so you could either teach, if you don't want to teach, like do content about teaching. Oh, well, that's not what my brand's about. What's your brand about? I'd like to do, I do shows. I just want to do more shows. I have like these puppet shows, and I do videos that are relative to the characters that will back up your shows that you're going to be having that week. But what if they don't like that? I don't give it, because it's not about them. It's about what do you need for your brand. And that's the way I censored myself. You're welcome. That's the thing. Thanks. Is that their brand, they don't understand their brand, because when you do understand your brand, then you know, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's probably what you do now. You know, you're
absolutely.
Like, yeah, that's exactly the content I put out. I have different characters, and they're going to be in my show coming up. Like, yeah.
How do you know if? How do you go about? You talk about like doing these campaigns for these different companies. How do you know if that fits with your brand? Or, I mean, do they, when they reach out to you, are you able to see, okay, would that be a great fit? Or is it usually where you have to kind of work with them to see how your brand would work with theirs?
So if they come to me, I ask them, what's your idea? I listen to them, but I put together a pitch of what I would do and how I would do it if I wanted to come to them in the first place. All right. But if I want to come to a brand specifically, I come with the tightest, most well thought campaign, because I want to respect them, respect their time. And again, they're not looking for me. I'm coming to them. So I want them to be like, okay, who do I need to fire for not finding you? And thank you for coming. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is cool. But I think it's that guy. I think that's the guy you need to fire. But I think it's Tom. But yeah, anyways. So I don't know if that helped a little bit.
No, it does. I think oftentimes people might establish their brand or have some semblance of a brand online, but they reach out and they might do too many different campaigns, or they might work with these different toy companies, and it might just seem like they're being a sellout. So where does it go where you're like, not a sell? I mean, that maybe that's your brand. That maybe that's someone's brand, that they are one.
Well, it's not.
But where, I mean, there's a fine line, isn't it?
No one's brand's a sellout, but I know I get your point. The fine line, I think, sits between knowing your brand.
Okay.
So, for example, if I do a deal, I'll do a deal. I'll give them 4 videos in a month, 1 a week. Fair enough. 1 a week. I post 7 videos. 1 of them is a brand deal. 1 a week. 4. Brilliant. No problem. I also do lives. 1 of the lives, I'll talk about the brand for 10, 15 minutes, do something with the brand in my life. Why? I'm not trying to sell it. I don't put my link. I tell them, look, I'm not for ROI. I'm not for conversion. I'm here for brand awareness. I'm not here for brand awareness for people that I don't know. I'm here for brand awareness for my following. That's why you're hiring me. So that's why I'm going on live, you see. And then, because you have to break them down. The moment that they see that I'm a businessman creator, then they're like, huh, nice. Because I build so much value with our deals. I'm not going, so first off, you were saying the content. They can come to me with their idea. Ultimately, in contract, it's my creative freedom. They don't like that, I don't work with you. Done. Moving on. You have to have your own boundaries. If they give me creative freedom, we're going to bang out some awesome content. And I might even make 2, just because that's awesome. I may charge it, may not. I don't know. Depends on how difficult you make it. And if that's the case, I usually make the second one the best one. So then I make them want that one too. So it's all, you have to leverage. You have to leverage everything, every aspect of your brand. Otherwise, they will, in these branding deals, take advantage of you. So know what you're willing to do. Know what you're willing to do it for. But also understand brand does like a little control. So give them maybe, hey, before I post it, I'm gonna have you take a look at it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna change anything, but if you throw out some brain busters that I didn't see, which they're not, that's why they hired you. Yeah, I'll change it. And then sometimes they're like, do you think you could maybe start it this way? I'm like, absolutely not. I won't change it that way. Nope. No. Like another camera angle, or, we thought it would be funny if you did this. And I'm like, why? They're like, for a hook. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. I'll smash a pie in my face. I mean, it's dumb, but I get it. Like, I'm flexible to a degree. If they can present it to me, make it make sense to me, yeah, I'll adjust it.
Wow. So to someone that maybe they're gaining a following on TikTok or on one of these social media platforms, but they hear you talk about brand and they are enticed by it, but they don't quite know how to figure out if they even have one yet or how they would define theirs. How would you break it down for them in layman's terms? Like how do you know if you have a brand, or if you want to maybe further establish your brand? What do you need to do?
First off, understanding what a brand is. A brand is an entity that makes money, controlled by other entities. Okay? We as workers,
Okay,
in a sense, our brand, we're the cashier brand, or we're the bagger brand at the supermarket, right? The niches. Those are the brands. That's a brand. Mm-hmm. So knowing that a brand makes money and is navigated by entities, okay? So someone that just wants to do magic tricks and be like, I want to make money because I'm on TikTok and I got 100,000 followers for doing magic. Okay, cool. Who's gonna pay for that? Well, they're gonna pay for my magic tricks that I do on them, and they go viral. And I'm like, no, they're not, because how are you gonna incorporate their brand in it? And they're like, well, I'm going to have it next to me, or I'm going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to get free product if you think like that. That's not a brand. If someone comes to me and is like, look, I've been making magic videos or cooking videos, it doesn't matter what it is, ventriloquist videos, dude, how can I make some money? And then I go, what's your favorite brand? And then they would say, blah, blah, blah. Great. What would you do with that blah, blah, blah? And what would you do with the brand? Well, I like to talk about X, Y, and Z, and I would do this and do that. Boom, you're a brand. You're a brand.
Mm.
Versus, who do you want to work with? Oh, Nike? Okay, what do you want to do with them? I just want to be like, I want to be like David Blaine, but sponsored by Nike. I just want to be sponsored, but like I want to be like their guy. When they go for magic, I want to be their guy. I'm like, why would a shoe sports company go to a magician? Well, I mean, they did the other guy. I'm like, Dynamo? Yeah, well, Dynamo had a brand. He was a street magician. He was a kid that worked in, he's got a story behind him. He's the this, he's the that. That's what a brand is, the story. Not that you can do a magic trick. Because guess what? When I saw Dynamo, I was like, dang, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So I figured out, how am I going to do that? And that's when I found out Spy had a need, and the need was they wanted to do a retailer appreciation to boost their sales presence in the store. Brilliant. I came in and I was like, I have an idea. When I come in undercover as one of your sub reps with your actual real rep that runs the store. So they have their relationship. They introduce me. I have catalogs fumbling around like an idiot, but as I'm introducing the catalog, I knock out one of the pages becomes blank and the glasses become real, and we give it to them. And they were like, brilliant. So I'm like, so it's a giveaway. It's a refresher of PK knowledge because I will do product knowledge as I'm doing magic. And then it was like, oh, this clicked. So I took that, reverse engineered it to where I'm at now with brands. And I realized all they care about is how are you going to take their product and elevate it? And you just say, well, you're just a magician. Me, I come in and I go, so I've created a viral personality on social media and television, but my whole thing is I crash people's daily routines. This is how I see that it would work. Then they're like, yeah, done. Like, love it. Oh, actually seen your stuff because I'm actively being my brand no matter what I'm doing. And they're like, love it. Actually just landed a deal because of this. I reached out to someone to ask a simple question about TikTok, knew that they were part of a company, was very grateful for their time, said I'd be willing to do a post for free, unheard of in this industry. He said, no, let me introduce you to our paid social person. I was like, okay. Paid social person comes on. We have a meeting with them. He goes, first off, I just want to say I'm a big fan of yours. And I was like, me? He's like, dude, when you took that gum, and he like said videos from back. I was like, wow. Got him. So then all based on that, what I did was straight up said, I'm going to be straight up with you. My numbers aren't doing the best right now, but on other platforms, which this stuff will go, not doing too shabby. Plus, I'm just a viral entity no matter what, the stuff grows. He goes, I absolutely agree. So I base my price based on my followers. I got nearly 4 million, so $4,000 a post. Just entry fee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm a fan of your brand and you're a fan of mine. So this is what I'm thinking. Let's do 4 posts at that rate. But here's my idea. I want to get the product into people's actual hand. And I started getting really elevated. I go, so I want to do street magic where the product becomes the reason why the magic happens. Dude's like, sold. He's like, so you're saying like 16 grand? He's like, let me wrap up a bigger package. Maybe include Rachel. Let's see what we can do. We'll do a quarterly spend. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted.
Wow. That's amazing. I love how you're able to pitch yourself and what you do in like 2 to 3 sentences.
That was Spy sunglasses because you have to know.
Really?
You have to know your brand. Wow. You have to know your brand and the brand that you're doing with. You got to listen to what they want. It's sales, right? But the one thing that you have to understand is that you're that driver. So.
Wow, that's wonderful. I love how you're able to, this is me, this is what I do, and here is exactly what I could do for you guys. I mean, and they understand your polish and your passion, and they can see that how well you can integrate what they do into your content. And I think that's where your brand, you're able to, not only pitch yourself, but pitch your brand and where they could see your brand shining within theirs in terms of the collaboration. So I love that.
And it's usually
that's a lot to.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say that's a lot to take in, especially from a a newbie point of view. So I
Yeah, I mean,
appreciate it.
either the newbies need to understand why are they doing it? Are they just doing it
Hmm.
because it's fine to be a newbie, but what are you a newbie? Are you just a newbie content creator that just wants to put out videos, get millions of views, and be all excited and be like, I got millions of views? Or are you looking at it from an entrepreneurial standpoint? Are you going all in like that? Are you going to start it from, because if that's the answer, you start that from day one. The
Hmm.
reason being, if you don't, you get in your head the entire journey, and then you don't get where you want. I've been there, so I've been there.
Well, that's one. Where can people follow you and find out more about what you do?
So you
Speaking of
can find
brand presence.
more about the Magic Crasher at the Magic Crasher, just like the Wedding Crasher, but the Magic Crasher on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube Shorts, you name it. We're there every single day, posting new videos and taking requests. I want to hear, I want somebody to say, hey, it'd be funny if you did this. I'd be like, all right, not funny your way, but maybe funny my way. Cool. You want to
Well,
see a
David,
magic
thank you
trick?
so much for being on land. Oh, yeah, please.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. See, that's the marker trick, right? And then
Perfect.
That's a good one.
Makes it effortless. I love that. And the Landed Live podcast has officially been crashed by the Magic Crasher.
Boom! You have, and thank you for having me. Big fan. I've been a big fan of you for a very long time because I remember you having very little following, and
Yep.
you came on my For You page one day. I think I joined it live. I may have gifted you, and I just loved it. And to see where you've grown now, I'm stoked.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you being on the show and for sharing your advice. And I know it's going to be very well received. So thanks for being on here. And we look forward to continuing following your journey.
Hey, you have a daily routine. It's my job to crash it.